Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and I'm so glad to see everyone from all over the U.S. and around the world joining us here this evening. It is a Monday night. We made it through the first day of the week, and now we can all relax and get a little crafty time in. Now, I know not everybody crafts with us. Some of you just watch and like to hear what we're going to say next. I never know what Tom's going to say next. Let's bring him in and say hello. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How are you?
I am doing much better than horrible tonight. Yes.
That's all we can ever ask for, huh?
Yeah.
Well, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did this weekend?
Let's tell them
what I did this weekend. Tom and I went on a bike ride. It was like 61 degrees on Sunday. It was absolutely gorgeous. And Tom and I got out and went on a bike ride. And we did 11 miles on the bike. Fantastic bike ride. We got a block from our house and I wiped out on the bike. Went right over the handlebars. But to my defense, I got a flat and I didn't know I had a flat. And I tried to turn and I was heading for the curb and it wouldn't turn. So I hit my brakes and it just threw me right over. So
yeah, and of course you were like 20 minutes before that you were racing me.
Well,
I was on the the home stretch for home, just tearing it up, and I look around and she's gone.
I was picking myself up and picking stones out of my hand. Oh, yes, I always wear a helmet. Always wear a helmet. Tom and I always wear helmets, so don't worry. No, the worst part was my hands because I, braced myself with my hands, and that's where I got hurt. I have a couple little scrapes, but other than that, I made it through, and I realized that I guess I'm in better shape than I thought because I really should have gotten more hurt. So that's a plus.
Can't get you to wear gloves, though.
I know I should wear gloves. I know I should wear gloves. I just never think that I'm going to fall off the bike. Now I know. I will wear gloves. I promise. All right. But yes, we are... I'm good, and I am ready to get back in the craft room. Crafting is so much safer than riding a bike. Absolutely. So tonight, what I thought I would do was, I was thinking a lot about the Birthday Bash stamp set and how all the beautiful birthday cards I'm seeing in our forum, everybody's making the most beautiful birthday cards. But I thought we could use this and make something other than a birthday card with it. So I thought that I would make a wedding card, and I would show you a way to take these two stamps and turn it into actually a triple layer cake. And then I think there's going to be plenty of time to do this. I want to show you a way to use this image that has nothing to do with cake. So let's get started so we have enough time to get it all done. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and I'm going to cut this cardstock down to 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Now this is the same. Actually, I'm going to cut it out with the master layouts. That's what I want to do. Let me get the die cutting machine here. So I'm going to cut it out with master layouts too. That's the same exact size that I was just talking about. And I'm going to use the stitched die and the plain die from this set, the large rectangles, because I do want this to be a little decorative. If it's going to be a wedding card, I want it to be a little fancier. Okay, so here's just a little quick tip for you. Some people say when they're trying to cut these big rectangle dies out that they are a little bit difficult to cut out. And it's not that they don't cut well, it's just hard to turn the handle of the machine. So what I recommend is just turning your cardstock like that as it goes through the machine. There's something about just the one corner going through first that makes it super easy to run through the machine. You're going to see a big difference doing that. It goes right through with no problem at all. Okay, so we've got that first one cut. There's our little panel there. And now I'm going to cut a piece of black cardstock. And once again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be using the plain rectangle this time. And again, I'm going to just turn it on an angle to make it go through the machine more easily. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Starting to get busy around here. People finishing up dinner, or depending on where you are in the world, it might even be breakfast. Okay, so these two layer perfectly together. There we go, like that. And they're going to be the two panels that we use for our first card. Now, you know what? While I'm here, I might as well cut another set because I have faith that we're going to get to that second card tonight. So let's do it. I'm cutting another white one using the stitched die, and then I'm going to cut a black one using the plain rectangle die. There's another one, and then all that cutting will be done. And you know what? I think for my anniversary card, I'm going to use the word love. So I have the A Little Love layering stencil set, and I think I'm going to cut a big love word. Now, to save some cardstock here, what I'm going to do is this is going to be the back panel of my white layer here, right? It's going to layer together. So you're not going to see anything in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the word love out of the middle. This is my A Little Love bundle. And I'm just going to do the word love. I don't think I'm going to need the shadow layer, but we can always go back and do it. So I'm going to lay the love down, and I have it blade side up. And then I'm going to place this right over it. Okay. Now, whenever you have any intricate die, something with real skinny lines like that, if you cut it blade side up and you put it off to one side, a little bit off center instead of right smack in the center, it tends to cut more easily. So here's that black panel, right? We don't have to worry about that because we're not going to see that at all. We're just going to cover that right up like that. And then here is my love die. Let me grab my Tim Holtz craft pick because this makes it very easy to get these die cuts out. All you do is poke into one of the little holes and it releases the die. You see that? And then you can gently pull it out of the die. There we go. And look how beautiful that word is. Isn't that such a pretty word? I love that. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean this die out just by poking those out, and I'll put that away right away so I don't lose it. So it's always with my A Little Love bundle. Okay, so I think that's the bulk of my die cutting there, and we can get this die cutting machine put away, and we can start making our card. Oh, I love that die too. It's one of my favorites. I know my voice trails off when I turn around. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to use my Misty for the first part of this. Okay, and I will get that white piece of cardstock. Let me move the Misty up so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to make a triple layer cake. So I want to use this big box right here, and then this one next, but I don't have a smaller one for the top, and I want this to be kind of a triple layer cake, and it really would look kind of silly to have a big one and then two of the same size. So I'm going to show you a little trick to making this one smaller, okay? Let's start with the medium size one, the middle one that we're going to do. Okay, so here it is. So I'm going to place this in the middle of the cardstock. Actually, I'm going to go up just a little higher because I'm thinking, let's just lay this out. All right. So imagine we have a cake here, one here, and then one up here. And then we want to make sure that we have room for love. So we'll put love down here at the bottom of the cake. So I think that's a good spot right there. All right, so it doesn't matter which one we start with. We can start with this bottom one. I just want to make sure that it's placed evenly. So I have kind of the same amount of distance on either side, and make sure it is tucked in that corner. Now for this wedding cake, and you can do a wedding cake in any color you want, but for this I am going to do, I thought about doing sea glass, but you know, all my cards are sea glass. So I think I'm going to use Bubblegum Pink. I've been using a lot of Innocent Pink lately, and that's a beautiful color, but I think Bubblegum will just be fun for this. And then I can do some accents using Passionate Pink, and they look really nice together. Okay.
Will the love die be available without the bundle?
No, that one is part of the bundle. They all live together because they really need each other. So that one is not available, at least right now. We don't have any plans to make that available. Okay, so I'm going to start with the bubblegum, and I'm going to give it 2 coats of bubblegum ink. With these lighter colors, you definitely have to give it 2 coats. But I love the way our ink doesn't pull up into the thin little white line here, and you'll see what I mean. That line stays nice and crisp, and I love that. See how nice and crisp the line stays? Love that. Okay. Now I'm going to do it a second coat just to get it a little bit deeper. Okay, so there we go. So there's my first layer. Let me grab my tidy towel. Welcome, everyone. I see everybody coming in. Hi, friends. It's great to see you all. All right, so there's my first. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of not a pink person either, but then I start making cards with pink, like my, like the card I did in my 5-minute card video had a lot of pink, and I just, sometimes it's fun. All right, now I'm going to place this one on top, and I want to make sure that it looks fairly even from side to side, and it's okay if it overlaps a little bit. Our ink has a smoothing agent in it, so when I stamp it, you're going to see the line. But when this card dries, it's going to dry and you won't see the lines anymore between them. This will look all like one big image. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do this second layer. I saved the harder card, well, the easier card for last. I'm making the harder card first. Okay. So we're going to stamp that. Get a nice good impression. Okay, and then we're going to stamp it a second time. Oh, thank you so much, Sally. Sally said her inks, my inks are her favorite. Thank you. I'm pretty proud of our ink. I really like it. Okay, now you see where it looks like it's the line there? Let me pull that up a little bit and show you. See that line there? That's going to go away. You're not going to see that. Once that smoothing agent takes effect, it's all just going to blend together and you're not even going to see it. Okay. So now we're going to use this same cake, this same piece, but we're going to make it a smaller piece. All right. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So for this, I'm going to use some masking magic. I'm going to take a piece here. I don't think I have a piece out laying around anywhere. So let me grab a piece from here. If you've never used the masking magic, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It is really something that I just adore. I use it all the time. It doesn't damage your paper. It doesn't damage your ink. Okay, now I'm going to start by just trimming this. I'm going to do this right on top here. By trimming this right to the 6-inch mark. All right.
When is our next release?
Our next release is next Monday, guys. Isn't that exciting? All right, so I am just going to keep this because I always use strips and I'll use that for something else. All right, so let me move this whole thing down so you can see a little bit better. Now I'm going to cut I'm going to cut two 3/4 of an inch strips. So I'm going down from 6, 6 3/4, 6 1/2, 6 1/4. That's going to give me a 3/4 of an inch strip right there like that. Okay, and that's all I need. I was going to cut 2, but I really only need 1. So why cut more than 1? All right, so I'm going to peel this. And then I'm just going to tear it in half. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to block off right here like this. Now, I tried to make that as straight as I could. It really doesn't look that straight. So let me fix that. And this is the beauty of masking magic. You can pick it up. It doesn't damage your paper. It doesn't damage your ink. But I want to get this as straight as I can right here. And I'm just using the stitching to kind of line it up. So you see where I lined it up? I made sure that I still had that one loop in there. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I can see right through this masking magic. I don't know if you can, but I can see right through it. So I can kind of see that I have the same amount of pink covered, if that makes sense. This is pretty close. Okay. There we go. All right. That looks pretty good. This might be a little bigger on this side. Let's just move it. I know I'm being neurotic, but you know, it's all right. It's who I am. Okay. So now I've blocked off both sides here. Now I'm going to place this cake on top of here. Right here like this, making sure that the loops are going to show, the little loops. I don't want to loop. You can see it's a little off center because I want to get those 3 loops in the center, if that makes sense. Okay, I've got them in there. And now I'm going to pick that up using, I don't know if that's straight. I got to look at it closed again. Nope, that's not straight. I need to put more pressure on it. Okay, let me do that again. I'm just going to place that in there. Right there. And then I'm going to pick that up with the door of the Misty. Okay. All right, I'm going to clean that stamp too. All righty, now I'm going to put this back in place in the corner. And now I'm going to ink it up using the Bubblegum Pink. Now, the reason I'm doing this with the masking magic, instead of putting tape on the stamp, is I don't have to worry now about being messy. I don't have to touch tape with ink on it. I can double stamp it and I don't have to reapply tape. And I also don't have to try to line it up a second time. I can just leave the masking magic on there till I'm done. All right, so I'm going to stamp this. And then I'm going to give it a second coat. There we go. Okay. Now I promise that's going to start to fade away. See, this is fading away a little bit. It's going to start to fade. All right. And now I'm going to remove this. And you can see this is nice and crisp. And it's smaller. So now I have a triple layer cake. And you can save those pieces of masking magic if you want. You can just tape them to your stamp set. You can even write on them. These are for my triple layer cake, whatever you want to do. Okie dokie. So now I've got my cake here. So let's have a little fun. I can leave this on here, or is it easier to see this way? I think it might be easier to see this way. Okay. Now I'm going to choose another stamp set. Oh, this is going to be so pretty, isn't it? It's going to be fun. I just like it already. So now I'm going to choose a different stamp set because I want to decorate this cake to make it look a little bit more like a wedding cake and a little bit less like just a fun, funky cake. Although it already really kind of looks like a wedding cake. But I was digging through my stamps to see what would work. And the mini wreath builder is like the perfect thing for this. It's got this rose, this tiny rose, and these little leaves right here that are just perfect for adding some accents. So I'm going to hand stamp some accents so we can all hold our breath together. I'm going to use the little rose, and then I'm going to use the little leaves. And it's nice because the two little leaves you can see are already together on one stamp. So that makes it so easy to just stamp it accurately each time. So let's start with the roses. So I think what I'm going to do is on this corner down here, I'm going to do a little cluster of 3 roses, and then I'm going to add a leaf. Then I'll do one up at this corner, and then I'll do one up at that corner. I like gray with pink too, Lori. I think gray and pink are beautiful. I actually made a card already for our next release, and my colors are gray and pink. So I think you're going to like that one if you like that color combination. Okay. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp one right here on the corner like that. And then I'm going to stamp 2 under it, and I'm turning the stamp a little bit when I stamp them so they're not all exactly the same. See, let me get that closer. Can you see that? Okay. I love tiny stamps too. And this is another fun way to use your wreath builder stamps. And this mini wreath builder, the stamps are so cute and so tiny. All right, we're going to do one up here in this little spot. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn it. I really shouldn't turn it right over the design, because if I drop it, okay. And then we'll do one up at the top here the same way. Right up here. Right down here. And right over here. Okay. So now we've got our 3 little festive little frosting things. You know those are yummy. I always try to get that piece when I'm eating cake. I want the extra parts. All right, and then I'm going to use fresh asparagus because that's a nice bright green. I really want a piece of this. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp this right here. Little leaves. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Even though they go in a different direction, that's fine that the bigger one is on top. And I'm going to do the same thing right up here. You're a cake decorator, Carol? Oh my goodness. You know, I was playing around with some things, decorating this cake and trying to play with different things. And I had some ideas, but I think I'm going to leave it simple so I don't mess it up. But I'll tell you, one stamp that I really liked was these 3 little dots. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the 3 little dots to go all along the end in the passionate pink. But I just couldn't get them to look real even. But these kinds of things, you could use these. You could kind of do little dips like that if you wanted. You know, you could do all kinds of things. But I'm going to keep this really simple. Ooh, we have a lot of cake decorators in here. That's cool. We're going to keep this super simple. What I might do is I might add a few little sequins in here just to jazz it up. And then, you know how I said I was all done with my die cutting machine? Well, I lied, because I want to cut a greeting from the Birthday Babble sentiment strips. So what I thought, once again, you know, a lot of you have these. I thought we could do let's celebrate, and then we could put love underneath. So let's celebrate love. I thought that would be really fun for a wedding card. All right, so I'm going to cut that out. And then I think I'll cut a happy birthday out for my next card, just so I have one. Because my next card, once again, is super quick and simple. Oh my gosh, I want cake so bad right now, guys. I would do anything for a piece of cake. Okay, so we have these. I'm going to use our sentiment strip dies. That's this little set right here. And then I'm going to pick, I think that one's a little big. So let's go with the smaller one. Let's celebrate. That'll be the perfect size. I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't shift. Let me find my washi tape. Oh my gosh, and buttercream frosting. How many people want cake right now? I should have warned you all. I should have said, go out and get a piece of cake somewhere. Get something at the grocery store, some sweets, because we're making cake. Okay, so there we go. And I'll be good. I'll have a sugar-free Werther's, and that'll have to do it. Okay. So we've got Let's Celebrate. There it is. Looking pretty good. And then I'm going to cut one Happy Birthday out, just so I have it. I really like Happy Belated too. It's nice to have those sentiment strips because hopefully you're not missing lots of birthdays. But if you're like me, you do lose track at times, and it's nice to have a couple of those cut and ready to go. Alrighty. And that works with the birthday and shadow die too. Instead of saying happy birthday, just happy belated. Okay. Crystal, I have tried making cake with stevia and some other things with stevia, and it's actually very good. You're correct. Where did that go? Oh, it fell down here by my feet. There it is. It's a little high, but I'm going to leave it because I don't want to waste it. Yes, stevia is pretty amazing. I use stevia every morning in my coffee. Not everybody likes stevia, but I've been doing it for so long because of my diabetes that I can't even remember what sugar tastes like anymore. And I'm fine with that. I don't want to remember because I'm used to it now. Okay. So you can see this bottom is almost blended in, this top, but we're going to put some sequins on there anyway. So let's adhere these two panels together. We'll jazz it up with something sparkly. And then should we use Bubblegum Pink as a card base, or should we use Fresh Asparagus, or just go with stark white? Let's look at Fresh Asparagus, because that might make those little leaves pop. I don't know. That's not a real wedding color, is it? Nah, it's not wedding-ish enough. Let's look at Bubblegum. Do the bubblegum. That would be pretty. And let's try, because it was mentioned, let's try gray. Let's just try the real soft gray. Because I feel like that might really be pretty for a wedding, and just almost like white, but just a little bit nice. Well, cream would be good if this was cream, I think, but I think the cream and the white, I don't know. What do you think of that? You like the gray? I like the gray. All right, we will try white. I'll hold it up against white because everybody's saying white. Well, not everybody, but some of you are saying white, especially for a wedding. I like the white. Okay, we got a lot of people saying white, so let's go with the white. We'll make it real simple. Gray. Okay, a lot of people are saying gray now. I think it's a little delayed, that's why. And I think you had to look at both together. It's always good to just look at it together. We'll go with the gray. You'll have to deal with my gray and pink card next weekend, though, or next Monday. Okay, I'm just going to cut this, and I'm going to make it like a tent style card. So I cut that 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I am going to score it at 5 1/2 inches. Okay. All right. Well, I know everybody has their own colors that they like, but that's the beauty of our forum. I would love to see you guys do your version of this card and pop it in there. I would just love to see what you do. Kind of like this gray too with it. It's a very, very cool gray. It's not a warm gray. So I'm going to pop this card base onto this cool gray. And then we'll get this on here. So we're going to put love here. And we're going to put this right here, like this. You can even sneak it in there. Let's celebrate love. We could put it up a little higher, too. Let's celebrate love. That's kind of nice. Let's celebrate love. And then I'll add some sequins up here, and I'll just put one down there. Okay. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use some Connect glue, and our fine tip bottles are finally back in stock. Hallelujah. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here, some tiny little dots of glue on the back of this love. I love how tiny you can get these dots with these bottles. They are worth it. And if they clog, they don't clog. What happens is a little bit of glue dries right on the tip. You just peel it off and they work every time. I have not had one clog where I needed a pin or anything. I just peel that little glue. You know how when you were a kid and you put Elmer's glue on your fingertip and it dried and then you peeled it off? It's like that. Okay, so we'll get love right down here. There we go. And then we'll add let's celebrate. We could even put it right on the end of the cake. Like that. I'll just tape that. Maybe I'll extend it a little. I feel like it should be extended just a little. Okay. And now we'll do some sequins, and we have to use disco ball because we need very pretty, simple sequins that are going to pick up whatever color it's under. And we'll do a few little sequins here. We'll try to space them. Okay, that's not perfectly spaced, but it's better than horrible, Tom. So, Tom, I'm sure that everybody is wondering if you have a word of the day today. While I'm busy putting sequins on, maybe you could come in.
I do.
And you could tell us if you have one.
I do, but first I want to send out a special thanks.
Do you have a thank you?
To Janice Wall. Janice sent this wonderful gift of this good old classic in honor of our word of the day. It's a book of Sniglets.
Oh.
Remember from way back?
Yes.
Sniglets.
That's awesome. Well, thank you.
Janice sent that, and a beautiful card with the guitar.
Oh, how nice. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. So we've I already looked through, and we'll definitely refer to this. There are some pretty good examples in here to add to our a rice roach. A rice roach is the burnt crispy in every bowl of Rice Krispies.
Oh my God. That's funny.
So that reminded me of a story. For the word of the day. Do you remember that Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Where we didn't have enough room in our place here, so we actually had Thanksgiving in the in the store.
Oh,
The
yes.
old
I
store.
remember that Thanksgiving in Greendale.
Yeah, and we had a pretty good crowd there.
We did.
And one of the neat things, you remember the Taste of Home. If anybody remembers the magazine Taste of Home, that used to be the test kitchen where we were for Taste of Home magazine.
That's right.
So it had a great kitchen and a big kitchen. So it was great for Thanksgiving dinner. Anyway, so that particular Thanksgiving, do you remember your mom made some apple pie?
Oh, I know where this is going.
And now your mother was, bless her heart, she was an outstanding cook.
Yes, she was.
She was outstanding.
She
All
was.
kinds of Italian dishes and
Yes.
French and wonderful. But for some reason, this particular Thanksgiving, the apple pie got away from her. And I don't know exactly what happened, but it wouldn't stay together, you know.
Yeah, well, for all the bakers out there, I think what happened was she just used too many apples and it was just too juicy, you know. I'm struggling because my craft pick, my jewel picker, has too much glue on it. Yes, so it was too juicy, and the pie, it was just wet, right?
Yes. And so, you know, using words in creative ways is kind of a family tradition here with our family. And so we have to give credit to this particular word combination to your brother-in-law, Timmy.
Yeah.
Timmy came up with this and lovingly referred to your mother's apple pie as apple pile.
Yeah, because when she put the pieces on the plate, it was just like a big pile of mush.
So the word of the day is apple pile.
Apple pile. That's great.
I don't think he got a lot of points that Thanksgiving.
No. No, well, we were laughing too much, so my mom's probably not happy. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm taking my time with these sequins, guys. But they do look pretty, don't they? What do you guys think? Isn't that nice? Can they see that sparkle?
I think so.
All right, so we'll just do just two down here.
And that's the thing. Yes, Cheryl, it was still fantastic.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. It didn't matter what it looked like. The taste was there. She had all the right ingredients. It just wouldn't stay together. It was pretty funny.
I think I had a request to make it the same way the next year.
Probably, yeah. All right, so there's my little wedding card, complete with sparkles. Yep, here we go. So something a little bit different. All right, well, we'll put this one away, and we're going to give this away to one lucky viewer. Lucky, unlucky. I don't know how you guys feel about the cards. But to one viewer, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so now I want to just show you another quick little technique that I think is really fun. So I'm going to use the big block of cake here. And I'm not going to use it as cake at all. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use it to create some color. All right. And I'm not going to use the Misty for this. I'm going to use Wild Dandelion, Lucky Clover, and Turquoise Sea. All right. So I'm going to start right in the middle of this card with Wild Dandelion. Okay. I'm going to ink it up real well. Let's see here. Okay. And I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to make sure that it's fairly spaced evenly from side to side. I'm not worried about it being real super solid. As long as I have good color, it's going to, you know, it's going to fade up nice and smooth. All right. Then I'm going to do green next. Lucky Clover. These are pretty easy to line up. So I'm going to find the end of the yellow there. I'm just going to line that up like that. And I'm going to do the same thing below the yellow. Just going to find the end there and stamp it. Doesn't matter if there's a little space in there. It is really easy to line up if you want to line it up. And it's wonky anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I'm hungry for pie and cake. Tom, we got to talk about something other than baked goods. Come on. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp this down here. And I'm going to do the same thing at the top. I like this color palette. I think it's a real pretty, nice combination. So this is just a fun, the loops could go the other way. Absolutely. They could go either way. You could go back and forth. That's a great idea. I love that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just using that as a fun backdrop. So I'm just going to take a simple stamp, and one that I use often is the butterfly from Elegant Asters. This is a great butterfly, perfect for cards like this. And I'm going to stamp this butterfly randomly onto this background. Yeah, different color combinations. This is different. I kind of like the way it kind of starts from yellow, green, blue, and it goes that way. But you could totally, do a rainbow if you wanted. Whenever you do this, though, start in the middle, and it just helps you space it a little bit more evenly. Okay. So we'll start right in the middle with the butterfly. We'll do one here, like that. Do one at the bottom here. Might overlap a little. It's okay. And we'll do one at the top. Kind of going this way. Again, we'll overlap maybe a little. That's all right. Okay. I'm a big butterfly girl. You see me pull these same stamps out a lot. I use my stamps over and over again. I know we always come out with new things, which is fun, but that's one thing. If you get some of our stamps, I tend to use them again. Okay, so I'm going to just tape this onto this card base. And then I'm going to pick a card base color. I'm going to just stick that onto the card panel. And then I'm going to pick a card base color. And can you guys guess which one I'm going to pick? You know my color theory. So I'm going to choose yellow because yellow is the least represented in the card. So by doing a yellow card base, it's going to make that yellow pop out more. And because the yellow is in the center of the card, it doesn't take away from the perimeter of the card. In other words, there's not yellow just blending into the edge. All right. I know everybody thought I would say teal. I know. See, I tricked you. For once, I'm trying to be less predictable, but not really. All right, so we'll put this on top of here. Like that. Isn't that fun how it just, you don't even think of that as a cake, right? It's just a nice graphic design for behind there. Such a fun way to use that stamp. And then we'll do this little happy birthday greeting. We can pop it right in here where there's just a little more space between these two butterflies. I could put it down here too, but I think I did these two a little closer, so we'll put it up there. That's a good way to pick a card base. Just find the least represented color and match your card base to that. I'll try to get it in the middle here. Looks pretty centered. And then I'll put a few sequins on this one too. Might as well, because they're out and they're sitting here in front of me. Put one up here. These will be my random sequins. I have have to pull that glue off. My glue dried again. There we go. All right, one up here. One here. One down here. One over here. One there. Put a little one down here. Okay. All right, so that one, I'm going to squeeze a little of that back out. Okay. That's a lot of glue. Let me find my jewel picker again. Oh, I'm going to fight with this thing again now. Well, at least you know you're not alone. If you're fighting with your jewel picker and yours has glue on the tip too, you got to just pick it off and do the best you can. Put a big one there. Put a big one here. And I'll put a big one here, and then I'll put little ones in the other spots just to mix it up. Now, I do tend to like to go with odd numbers, but today we're going even. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could put one down there if I wanted. We're going to give this card away too, Tom. See, the last one has to be a problem. Get a little more on here. It's just sometimes, you know. Sometimes they give you trouble. Alrighty, that works. Okay, so let's see if you can see those. That's just a fun card. Look how fast that card came together. That should have been a 5-minute card video because that one really came together fast. All right, so there's my first card, my second card that I made. And here is my first card. And you see how the pink is all blended together? You can't really see the line anymore. You can see the sequence, but you can't see the line. That's because the smoothing agent, everything dried. Well, you know what? While we're talking, I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one right in between there. One right in between there. If I was a cake decorator, I'd put sequins on my cake. I wonder, are there edible sequins? Because I bet there are something like that, edible shiny things. There has to be. One in each of these quadrants, but they're not quadrants because there's only 3. Let's try this other side. Maybe that will give me less problems, but that's so big. I love the small side. It's not the glue, it's the picker. It is time for a new picker. I've been using the same jewel picker forever, and they're not that expensive, but every once in a while, it just feels good to get a fresh one. Okay. All right, Tom, and we're going to give both of these cards away tonight. Okay, I think that really added something there, just to have that little bit of extra sparkle. Okay. So we've got the one card here where we didn't make a birthday card out of the birthday set, so that was a little different. Made a wedding card, and then we have this one here where we didn't even use it at all like a cake. We used it as a background. Okay. Ooh, fine feathers you bought? That's a cool set. That'd be pretty on a card like this. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. That's the 2 cards tonight. So, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, somebody's asking, can I give them one hint for something that's coming on Monday night?
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll give you 2. The first hint I'll give you is that we have a kit coming out that's different than any other kit we've ever done in the last 15 years of Gina K Designs. Okay, that's the first hint. Very different. So be ready. And the second hint is we have the most beautiful cross die coming out that I think you will have ever seen. It is so beautiful. Perfect for Easter cards, but also perfect for any time you want to send something that has a religious meaning or, a sympathy card. So you're just going to love this thing. And a little magical thing happened. I designed it to be a 2-piece die. And when I got it, it turned out to be a 3-piece die. So you're going to love it. I can't wait to show you. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. That's all coming on Monday night. All right. So there we go.
All right, giving it away now.
Giving it away. So let's start with the wedding cake. Who's going to get the Let's Celebrate Love cake?
Let's Celebrate Love
card.
Cake card goes to, drum roll, cheesy drum roll, please. That card goes to Created to Bless. Created to Bless.
Yay! Congratulations, Created to Bless. You have to tell me what your name is right now so that I can tell them who to look for. Created to Bless. Okay. All right. Yes, you. Tell me what your name is. Tell me what your name is. Okay. And then while Created to Bless is giving us her name, let's go to the yellow butterfly card.
Okay, yellow butterfly card goes to Thelma, Walker-Wallace.
Woohoo! Thelma, congratulations. All right, so all you have to do is send your name and your address to info@ginakdesigns.com. Her name is June, Tom.
Okay.
info@ginakdesigns.com and let them know whether you won the wedding cake or the butterfly, the wedding cake card or the butterfly card, and I will get those right out to you. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. We absolutely love every moment that we have with you. Monday nights are always great, relaxing, great way to end our evening, and we hope that you feel the same way too. We'll be back on Wednesday with another Crafternoon video. It's noon Central Time. And if you're not sure where it is in your time, once we post it, it should show up at the correct time where you live. All right, everybody. Well, until Wednesday, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.